What's up guys, my name is Ace and welcome back to Spawn Guides, the series where I cover all of the common spawn locations and how they behave on every map in Advanced Warfare. In today's episode, we're going to be covering Team Deathmatch and Domination on the map Terrace. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's get right into Domination spawns. So with this map, as you guys probably know, this is not really a linear map. This is a triangular map, and I actually kind of call it a merry-go-round map because that's usually how the games play out. It's not usually one team holds C and B for the entire game and then keeps the enemy team at A. It kind of flows around constantly. Everybody's always trading flags, it seems like. So that's one thing to be aware of with this map. The spawns are constantly moving around, and they aren't basically fixed like they would be with a more linear map. So for the A flag, we have three really common primary spawn points. These ones all depend on where the enemies are pushing and where your teammates are pushing. There's one up top there in the top patio area, right next to that purple spawn. There's one right behind the A flag, looking right directly at the A flag. And then just below the A flag, as you're looking at it right now, you can see on the bottom of those stairs, that is the third common primary spawn for the A flag. As for secondary spawns, you can see there's a couple of them that are just kind of pushed up right in the open there, right by a fountain, and then actually I think the other one's also by a smaller fountain right there. These ones are very rare because it's very easy for the enemy to get a line of sight on this area, so you really won't see these ones too often, so honestly, I wouldn't worry about them at all. As for the B flag, we have three really common primary spawns for the B flag, and as you can see, they're right there. One of them is just below that bottom stair spawn at the A flag, and then there's two, one on either side of the B flag. Also, there's one other one that you may not have seen at first, but it's right in the middle of the map, just a little bit towards the higher side of the map. It's a very small blue spawn there. That one is actually underneath the building. It goes into that bottom entrance where the spa is. I believe it's a spa. It's very confusing. There's lots of different callouts on this map, but it's definitely on the bottom floor. It kind of looks out the doorway into where the pool is. As for the C flag, once again, we have three primary spawns for the C flag. These are the spawns you're going to be seeing almost every time if you only hold the C flag. There's one directly behind the C flag. There's one just below the C flag. It's kind of on that ridge where the cliff is. And then there's one just above the C flag, just to the left of it if you're looking at it from behind the C flag. As for secondary spawns, again, just like the A flag, we have a couple that are right out in the open. Keep in mind, both of these are on the top floor. The one looks like it might be in the tunnel. It is not. It's on the top floor, so it's out in the open, and it's very, very unlikely that you'll see these two spawns. Now, there's one more spawn that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is the purple spawn on the top left. This spawn is kind of an anything goes spawn, it seems like. I consider this to be sort of an emergency spawn. You can spawn here if you hold any flag. It doesn't matter what flag you hold, you have the potential of spawning at this purple spawn. So it's one that you always have to be aware of. Usually you'll only end up spawning there if you're actually getting flipped out from your spawn. So let's just say you only hold the B flag and you spawn at this purple spawn way up top. That almost definitely means that all your B spawns are blocked right now, and that was really the only place that the game could put you that was safe. So just be aware of that if you do get that spawn there. Also, if you find that you're pushing the enemy team pretty hard and you're blocking all their primary spawns, it's very likely that they could be spawning at that top purple spawn as long as you don't have teammates there. I notice this a lot when I'm pushing towards the A flag. If I hold C and B and I'm starting to push towards A, it's pretty easy to block off those A primary spawns. So once you start blocking those off, they almost definitely start spawning at that top purple spawn, and you really have to be aware of that. And if you are aware of that, you can get a ton of kills on the people that are going to be coming back trying to defend the A flag. You'll be prepared for them, they won't be prepared for you. So that's Domination, pretty straightforward. Let's move right on to Team Deathmatch. Now the Team Deathmatch spawns on this map are actually kind of strange. A lot of them don't line up with the Domination spawns. For instance, those top spawns, like that top purple spawn I was just talking about, that doesn't seem to exist for Team Deathmatch, or at least I was unable to make my character or any other character spawn there. So I have a feeling you literally can't spawn there in Team Deathmatch. Keep in mind, I could be mistaken on this. This was just based on my research that I did for about an hour or so. So maybe it's possible, maybe I'm wrong, but for the most part, it seems you can't spawn there at all. So you'll notice the primary spawns are spread out all the way around the edge of the map, just like we normally expect with the spawns. A couple of the ones towards the bottom side, they're in the purple zone. I'll bring the zone map up right here. They're in the purple zone down there. Those ones are actually below ground, so there's one in a bedroom there, and then the other one in that room where there's like a ladder and some concrete and stuff right by the B flag, where the B flag would be in Domination. Those are both underground, they're not above ground. And what else is there to mention? It's pretty straightforward, actually, as far as the zones go. Instead of having just like 4 corners, this one is a little bit of an odd-shaped map. So we have the red zone, which is basically the C spawns. Those are the spawns you'll get if your team has control of that zone. Then you have the green spawn, which is basically all the A spawns. If your team has control of that, then it's likely you'll be spawning at one of those spawns. Then there's the purple spawns, which are like the B spawns. And then there's the blue spawns. Now, the blue spawns are those middle spawns. Basically, if you get a blue spawn, that means you have enemies basically spread out all over around the edges of the map. And just be aware that enemies could be literally anywhere on the map. So the blue spawns aren't nearly as common, but if you do get them, you should know how to react now. Just be aware of the fact that there's enemies most likely everywhere. Also, just wanted to point out with those blue spawns, the 2 spawns that are really close to each other, these are below ground, so they're below that middle building. And then that other one that's on its own within the blue area there, that one's actually on the top floor, right at the top of the stairs. So that's going to wrap it up for today's really quick episode of Spawn Guides. This is basically how the series is going to go from now on. I'm just going to rush through it. I'm spending a lot of time on the research. I'm just going to be spending less time on all the editing and post-commentary type stuff. I'm basically just going to blast through, show you guys what you need to know, and that's it. Let me know in the comment section below which one of the maps you'd like me to cover next. And keep in mind, I've already covered, I think, most of the main maps. So if you haven't seen all of them, make sure you go and check out the playlist, which I will link below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.